Hello everyone, Sammuel Maddox here from the El Paso Society for Musicians of the Future. Behind every great performance are the notes in the score, which guide a musician on what to play and how to play it. This roadmap of music is extraordinarily helpful for a musician to nail a performance. Now, who invented the system? Join me for the next 2 short minutes to find out. Let's wind back the clock to the Middle Ages in Europe. During this time, the worship of God was very important to the lives of medieval monks in European monasteries, which were places where monks would live out their lives for God in a relative amount of solitude. These monks had many ways of worshiping God, but the reciting of music was probably the most important. Here's the catch. These poor monks had to memorize hundreds of songs using just their ears and brain. It would take them years to memorize just a few sets of songs because there were no notes or scores. In addition, these sacred chants sometimes wouldn't even get memorized correctly. So having been passed down over generations of monks, who knows what the original chants would have sounded like. Now, along comes a monk named Guido de Arezzo, who was born in Italy in the last decade of the first millennium. De Arezzo trained to be a proper monk at the Benedictine Abbey in Pomposa, Italy, and also taught singing. It was there that De Arezzo recognized that learning music was very harsh on the monks, and that it also took too long to memorize a set of chants. For this reason, De Arezzo made a major contribution to a previous system of music notation that already existed called the pneumatic notation. Basically, this ineffective system had only 2 lines that showed the overall shape of the music, but it could not tell its rear the pitch or rhythm of the music. Anyhow, De Arezzo went ahead and added a red line for F, or Fa, and a yellow line for Si, or Do. This made musical notation much easier to read and understand, as the staff was divided by lines at the interval of a third. This new form of notation proved promising when monks were now able to learn chants in 5 months rather than 10 years. Even though De Arezzo gained high popularity for this system, his fellow monks, probably not the ones who sang from his new and efficient notation, forced him out of the Benedictine Abbey. Following his removal from Benedictine Abbey, De Arezzo went on to go and teach singers at the Cathedral School of Music, where the Bishop Theobald really admired his work. His new method also continued to expand when his range of notes bumped up to 21, in contrast to his original counterpart Dialogus attributed to Odo, which he was inspired by. Other contributions that De Arezzo made include outlining his theory on the 6 church modes, comparing the composition of melodic line note phrasing to the phrasing of a poetic verse, syllable, and word, stressed the importance of a cursus, which is the process of where voices diverge to the interval of a fourth and return to a unison, and so much more. All of these ideas were made into a book called the Micrologus de Disciplina Arts Musicae, and eventually the book made its way into the hands of Pope John XIX. The Pope loved the book so much that he invited De Arezzo to Rome around 1028 to continue developing his research. During that time, De Arezzo finished the Micrologus, which now contained more examples and explanations, making it almost like a textbook for people to learn from. Just before his death around 1033 and 1056, he became a peer of the Comatolite fraternity and an order of the Cenobites and Hermits. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, a short history on how we got music notation in education. Is it not simply phenomenal to see how one man made such major contributions to the art of music? It is amazing for me as a musician to know the history of how we got such an effective notation. Thank you all for watching, never stop learning, and do not forget, this too shall pass. See you next time.